The B Nation Podcast. The B Nation Podcast, Miguel Tello.
Music distribution is one of the industry's recent gold rushers, and streaming platforms are among the companies that have taken an interest in the space. On this episode of the B Nation Podcast, we are discussing the latest news on this matter. We have two stunning guests that they come to the show for the first time, and Amazon Music brings for another week the record of the week that I'm super excited to play. This is the B Nation Podcast. I am Miguel Tello, and we are presenting you our episode 5. This one is called The Revolution of Distribution, and we have a surprise. Let's find out who's bringing this week the summary.
Hi, I'm Josh Bogert, and this is the summary for episode 5 of the B Nation podcast. The big story is called The Revolution of Distribution, why all the streaming platforms are getting into distribution. Don't miss the analysis. Amazon Music presents the record of the week, Bitch Back by Olivia O'Brien featuring Fletcher.
It's all good, I got my bitch back. Back on a bullshit, I know you missed that. Cause he sucks, so now we can admit that. I got my bitch back, my bitch back. You look good, now throw that shit back. Cause there's a million other guys that wanna hit it back. But we'll ditch them late night to get a big back. I got my bitch back, my bitch back.
April Rose Gabrielli is on the show, representing her just-released debut album, I Woke Up Live.
Hi, I'm April Rose Gabrielli, and you're listening to the B Nation Podcast.
His previous single was Record of the Week, and now he brings you back on his new single. Dylan Brady is here.
Hi, my name is Dylan Brady, and you're listening to the B Nation Podcast.
You can check out my new single, Love You More, with Marco Noble and Aiden. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok by going to joshbogert.com and clicking the links. The 5 stream starts of the week, and as always, we will be bringing you the best new music from around the world. Welcome to the B Nation Podcast, brought to you by Amazon Music.
Thank you, Josh Bogert, for introducing the summary this week. And from now on, every single week, one of the artists that you normally listen on the B Nation Podcast is going to bring the summary. This is gonna be fun, and we hope that we can surprise you. How are you guys? How are you doing? Welcome to another episode of the B Nation Podcast, where we are bringing you the best new music from around the world. And if you think you have it, please send us an email to podcast@thebnation.com, podcast@thebnation.com. Or you can check our brand new website, thebnationnetwork.co.uk, or our socials on Instagram and TikTok under the username The B Nation Podcast. And we're gonna start this episode of the B Nation Podcast with Amazon Music, as they are bringing for another week our record of the week. I was waiting 7 days for this moment because I'm about to play a song that I'm super obsessed with. I am going to give you a big warning. This song is so addictive, catchy, and you will also be obsessed. Why? First of all, because one of the songwriters of the track is the queen Tia, who was on the show on this season premiere. So the swag and the summer vibes are guaranteed. This song is called Bitch Back, and it has the featuring of Fletcher, a British artist. She is Olivia O'Brien.
Bitch back, my bitch back, yeah. She bad, she bad. Bitch back, my bitch back, yeah. I know you're sad, but think of all the fun we're gonna have. And in a couple months we're gonna look at this and laugh. Like remember the visa, cause I don't either, but I know we had a fucking blast. So let's order a pizza, a side of tequila, and you'll forget about him fast, don't know. It's all good, I got my bitch back. Back on a bullshit, I know you missed that. Cause he sucks, so now we can admit that. I got my bitch back, my bitch back. You look good, now throw that shit back. Cause there's a million other guys that wanna hit it back. But we'll ditch them late night to get a big back. I got my bitch back, my bitch back.
Remember the time we double dated twins?
Yeah.
I was fucking her, you were fucking him. We beat them in flip cup and went to the strip club. We left them outside and they probably still miss us. Bitch, I'm only +1, cause being single's way more fun.
It's all good, I got my bitch back. Back on a bullshit, I know you missed that. Cause he sucks, so now we can admit that. I got my bitch back, my bitch back. You look good, now throw that shit back. Cause there's a million other guys that wanna hit that. But we'll
got my bitch bag. I got my bitch bag, yeah, yeah. And she's so bad, yeah, yeah. I got my bitch bag, yeah, yeah. Oh, no, no, no. Another day, another PJ. Pay for by another DJ. Make him think you'll get a three-way. But we don't even go to the show. Fuck no, it's all good. I got my bitch bag. Back on our bullshit, I know you miss that. Cause he sucks, so now we can admit that. I got my bitch bag. Yeah, it look good. Now throw that shit back. Cause there's a million other guys I wanna hit back. Mama makes some late nights to get a big bag. I got my bitch bag. I got my bitch bag. Yeah, yeah. And she's so bad. Yeah, yeah. I got my bitch bag. Yeah, yeah. Oh, no, no, no.
It's so necessary to listen songs like this one to remind ourselves that it's summer. Happiness and Goodbyes with Beach Back by Olivia O'Brien featuring Fletcher, and of course it has to be our record of the week brought to you by Amazon Music. I am super excited to speak to Dylan Brady, and April Rose Gabrielli is coming up shortly on the B Nation podcast. And now it's time to introduce our 5 stream stars of the week. Taylor Gray, Idiot.
So baby, why you still calling? You say that I'm crazy, but baby, I would rather be a maniac, psychopath, borderline a car crash, back on meds than back in your bed. If stupid is leaving, I guess I'm just an idiot.
Benicio Bryan, I Can Dance to This.
Give me the night, I'll prove wrong. Come on, turn off the lights, I'll turn you on. So don't you tell me that I can't dance to this. Watch me. Give me the night, I'll prove wrong. Come on, turn off the lights, I'll turn you on. I can't dance to this. Can't dance to this, can't dance, no, I can't dance to this. Watch me. Can't dance to this, can't dance, no, I can't dance to this. I can't dance to this, can't dance to this, can't dance, no, I can't dance to this. Watch me. Can't dance to this, can't dance, no, I can't dance to this. I can't dance to this.
Abigail Osborne, Gonna Get Over You.
Think of it till you pull me right back. Why did you have to do that? Thinking it through, did you mean to call? You set me right up for another fall like you always do. I was gonna get over you. I was gonna get over you.
The High Loves, Nowhere. Adam Turley, Movie. And now we're gonna start playing the first stream star of the week on the B Nation podcast. It's the first time that we are playing a track by Taylor Gray, and this song is called Idiot. After this, April Rose Gabrielli. But for now, discover Taylor Gray and her song that is called Idiot.
Guess I'm lucky that I'm hitting all the green lights. Guess I'm lucky you walked into my life. Guess I should be the happiest I've ever been. Is that right? Guess I should be begging on my knees, cause you're the only one who'd ever get me. Guess I should be the happiest I've ever been. Yeah, right. You twist the knife for weeks, then curse my name when I leave. Stop. You say that you hate me, so baby, why you still calling? You say that I'm crazy, but baby, I would rather be a maniac, psychopath, borderline a car crash, back on meds than back in your bed. If stupid is leaving, I guess I'm just an idiot. I'm just an idiot. Guess you're bitter, I'm better, it's your loss. Guess you're mad, yeah, it's really pissing you off. Without you is the happiest I've ever been in a while. No second guessing, yeah, I made the right call. It's not like I pray for your downfall, but I hope you're the saddest that you've ever been in your life. You say that you hate me, so baby, why you still calling? You say that I'm crazy, but baby, I would rather be a maniac, psychopath, borderline a car crash, back on meds than back in your bed. If stupid is leaving, I guess I'm just an idiot. Na, 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 na. I'm just an idiot. Na, 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 na. I'm just. You twist the knife for weeks, but I'm not losing sleep. And from what I see, you're the one that's bleeding. You say that you hate me, so baby, why you still calling? You say that I'm crazy, but baby, I would rather be a maniac, psychopath, borderline a car crash, back on meds than back in your bed. If stupid is leaving, I guess I'm just an idiot. Na, 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 na. I'm just an idiot. Na, 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 na. You're just an idiot.
Finally, the debut album from April Rose Gabrielli is out, and it's called I Woke Up Alive, and she's here with us. April, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the B Nation podcast. Honestly, it's a pleasure for me to have you on the show because I wanted to talk to you about your album that is finally out. 17 tracks. That's a lot of tracks, by the way.
Oh, yeah. It was a lot of life that I lived while I was making this, so it only felt appropriate. But as a disclaimer, it's 12 full songs, 6 of which are already out and or have been out previously, and then some small interlude tracks to kind of tie the story together a little bit more clearly, or to kind of add emotion in between 2 tracks that kind of needed that connecting piece. So I come from a kind of a theatrical background, so I just like to keep the music flowing throughout like it's an opera.
Track number 1, Calling to Confirm an Appointment. It's a track that I want to hear, and also as well, track number 12, I Don't Want to Be Alone.
Yeah, so yeah, there's actually a little teaser of calling to confirm an appointment on my Instagram or TikTok, something like that. It's actually just a voicemail that I got from my doctor.
Oh, wow.
So it starts the record. And then I Don't Want to Be Alone is actually a fan favorite that I felt like obligated almost to, which I love the song too, but I felt like I had to put it on the record because it's something I've been playing for a long time. When I first wrote it, and then as it was produced with the live band, and people really loved it and clung to it at the shows, so that's also on there. So I'm excited about both of those, actually. And
can I ask you, how does it feel your daughter to be on the record?
So it's kind of like it was like an automated message, I think. So it's kind of like an automated message, but I do actually in the video for the title track, one of my doctors is kind of, it'll be out when the record's out. It's kind of, he's in there. He's in there a little bit because on the day of one of my songs being released, he was playing it on his phone when he walked into the room because he knew what I was doing. So, the doctors that I was seeing the whole year or so that I was in and out of the hospital were fully aware of what I was doing and were very supportive, actually, of what I've been doing. So I can thank them for that.
I need a break. I got addicted to that song. I think I need a break. Think I need to find a way. It's an incredible song, and actually a lot of people will relate to that song. When did you write that track? And what can you tell me about the story of the song?
Okay, so Need a Break has a fun story, and it has a dual meaning for me too, or maybe even more than dual, tenfold even. But Need a Break, I actually came up with the lyric and the melody for while I was running on a hot summer day. So running became a huge part of my health and rehabilitation process after I was, every time I kind of got out of the hospital, while it was hard and nerve-wracking, it was something that I tried to do to get in touch with my body again. because epilepsy, literally, you're having a seizure, which the root of that word is seize. It's seizing your whole body. So, there's a mind-body connection thing that I really value, and running helps me maintain that. So anywho, hot day, I'm running outside, and it just came to me where I said to myself, I think I need a break. I think I need to find the shade, because I found myself continually weaving in and out of different spots of shade because I was so hot, and I felt like I couldn't go on. I kept pushing through, and finding those small breaks in the shade was so helpful. Or a small wind gust can really just keep you going through the run. So and you kind of, I'm spiritual, so it's almost like somebody's helping you along or watching you. So that's kind of how Need a Break was formed. It sort of became this hard knock life, from Annie type anthem, where it was you just got to keep moving forward. And those breaks are necessary and I think important in growing, especially for someone. I'm a little manic in my work. I don't like to take breaks, but they're entirely necessary. And I was forced to do so when I became sick. So,
and trust me, it's so catchy.
My producing partner, Jacob Kulik, who's an incredible producer, I was originally envisioning that as a sort of mid-tempo gospel track, which is everything's mid-tempo that comes out of my head. It's always mid-tempo and a lot lower in range. And what my amazing producer helps me do is, he's like, no, this could be such an amazing, fun pop song. And I'm like, yo, you're right. And I just trusted him with that track completely. And he also helps me hike up the range of the songs too, because he's like, you have such a great high register. Let's push yourself here. Let's really belt. Let's put some power behind this. And, I love to sing. That's why I make music. So, that was a great joint effort. And Jake really took the lead on making that song what it is, that catchy thing that it has.
Yeah, I mean, and thumbs up to them because the production is phenomenal, by the way.
All right. Hi, I'm April Rose Gabrielli, and you are about to hear my song, Need a Break, on the B Nation podcast.
Honey, I'm not strong or steady. I need to lay my head. I've been running for too long for nothing. I think I need to rest. I think I need a break. I think I need a body shake. I would take 10 days, 5, 3, 2, 1, anything. I think I need a break. I think I need a body way. I would take a week, a month, or even just a day. I need a break. I think 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 I need a break. I count time, but I sure love to waste it. I forgot my only sheets at the laundromat. Seeing double, I know I'm in trouble. I should be asleep, I wish I had the time for that. I think I need a break. I think I need a body shake. I would take 10 days, 5, 3, 2, 1, anything. I think I need a break. I think I need a body way. I would take a week, a month, or even just a day. I need a break. I think 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 I need a break. Fall down, get up, pick yourself up. Fall down, get up, give yourself love. Fall down, get up, pick yourself up. Hey, when you fall down, you get up, you pick yourself up. Fall down, you get up, give yourself love. Fall down, you get up, you pick yourself up. Hey, I think I need a break. I think I need a body shake. I would take 10 days, 5, 3, 2, 1, anything. I think I need a break. I think I need a body way. I would take a week, a month, or even just a day. I think I need a break.
Right, so you just hear I Need a Break one more time by the one and only April Rose Gabrielli, that she is on the B Nation podcast. on this episode that she's presenting her debut album that is called I Woke Up Alive. And we're going to talk about a little bit more about the album because it took you around 3 years to do this album, right, April?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the last year that you were doing this album, I think it was quite difficult for you. But I just want to ask you when did you just realize, say, hey, this album is already finished and it's time to put it out?
This one is hard because, like I said, these songs, some of the songs on here, especially Seeds, I think it's track 7 on here, was the first song I created for my solo project. So I started my solo project when I started creating this record because I was trying to find a sound and trying to find the right team. So it was really hard to actually put the brakes on this record, as you can tell, because there's so many tracks, which is not really, in line with what a lot of people are doing now. But it feels like such a big story to tell. So it was hard for me to actually have that moment. But I think once I had written, so the last track that I wrote for the record is actually the title track, I Woke Up Alive. Once that song was written, I realized, if there were any missing pieces, what needed to come in to have the record be completed, whether it was sonically or thematically. So I would say that was maybe, I guess once I Woke Up Alive was written, and we were kind of finishing up 2 or 3 songs, and I threw in some interludes at the last minute because I just, I wanted that flow to be really, I feel like the flow of the record and the story of the record is really important because there are so many emotions and so many moments in time.
I can tell.
Yeah,
I really can tell. And honestly, it makes sense to me that you just said that when you wrote the song that we're going to talk about it right now, I Woke Up Alive. I think that it makes sense to me that you decided to put the album out because I want to ask you a track that like this because the lyrics are, for me, in my opinion, obviously so emotional for someone, and obviously you allow us to personally I feel like I am reading your diary at some point because obviously it's something that is your life. It's really, really, really personal. You just born again. You know what I mean? You just you have a second life.
Right. Right.
So
absolutely, that's the whole idea. And there's the element of, the album title is I Woke Up Alive. The song title is I Woke Up Alive. But the finishing statement of the hook is on my deathbed. So it's it's kind of this double entendre of being able to embrace life through such a traumatic experience because, a lot of people, there's all these little articles and shows and things about, elderly people and, what's one piece of advice that they would give you, to spend the rest of your life doing. And a lot of them say, enjoy it more or treasure the time you have or don't worry so much. And I feel actually, I feel good about having had this experience in a sense because it only at, I'm in my late 20s, I'm now able to look at my life as if it were my last day. And I understand that feeling and I'm able to live with that gratitude in mind and make every day really productive and really good and, keep my patience and keep my focus because, the balance of your mind, your body and your soul are I'm not as invincible as I once thought. And I think until something actually breaks your invincibility complex, you don't really understand that it's all. Let me
do this. I'm so sorry. Let me do this because I'm hearing you and I'm like, bravo. Honestly, bravo because I cannot be more agree with you. Really wise words. I will add myself that we don't have to take life for granted.
No, you can't. But there's so many people who are unhappy with their jobs, unhappy with their circumstances. And, and obviously in different parts of the world, there are more and less ways that you can have control over these things. But I know, at least in America, in my corner of the world, there are a lot of people who are like, I really wish I didn't have to have a boss, or I really wish I could change my job. I really wish blah, blah, blah. And there's never any, people don't think outside the box of hey, what if, because I might get stuck this way and, I'll always be forever unhappy with, what I did with my life. And my whole thing is, I just quit. I was like, I want to be a musician. I'm going to be a music producer. And I'd rather be a poor music producer than a rich accountant or whatever. accountants are very necessary. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I just don't want to be an accountant. Although I loved it in college. I took business in college and I loved accounting.
Yeah.
But besides the point, you know what I mean? It's like, I'd rather be a poor, have a poor dream job than but that's just me, and people don't realize maybe the power they have in being able to harness their own direction in life, and definitely having, my health issues. And
the reason of this record is amazing, and honestly, I Woke Up Alive is an incredible song. How did you feel when you finished recording this track? Because I feel like it must be a therapy for you.
Yeah, this one specifically, I mean, it's got to be like my top 3 favorite songs that I've ever written or contributed to. I mean, we finished it in no time, too. It was one of those songs that was written, I like produced it when we, flew it over across the studio in here to Kulik, who mixed and mastered and tweaked and put some production sprinkles in there. And I mean, we were immediately we were in a flow together where we were just adding vocals and having a blast. And, we produce music almost every day. So those really organic moments don't always come. And just creating this song and then finishing this song was just like, wow, like we couldn't stop listening to it. We loved it. I didn't care if anyone else liked it because we just had such a great experience with the song after, such a crazy thing happened to us both because he's my partner. So not only was he helping me write and produce this record for 2-3 years, he was also my caretaker for the whole year that I was in the hospital. So it was a really interesting experience. And he has a record that is kind of almost like the sister record. The other perspective of this my record is called Everyone I Know Will Die. So that's his record that just came out in January. And now I'm coming out with I Woke Up Alive, completely really unintended to be named in such a way, but like that's and he's got that perspective. So we were just so happy with I Woke Up Alive, to answer your question.
Have you thought about bringing this record to life? What's the plan at the moment? Like, are you planning to obviously to tour like this album in America?
Yeah, I mean the goal, I guess, for next year is until 2022 is over and maybe the beginning of 2023, I'm going to continue promoting it. And I'm hoping to play shows as much as I can next year to promote the record and put out some new music as well as a follow-up, because I'm already writing new stuff. Can't help it. And yeah, I'm hoping to play. I mean, a tour would be great if we can manifest that right here, right now. But it all depends on what works best and what's in the cards. But live performance is the reason I write and create music. So I wish I could play 365 days, in 1 year.
And I hope like the one day in the future you can come here to the UK to obviously to bring that live.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. I've actually never been over there. So
really?
I would love. No. I've been all across the US and I've been in parts of Canada, but never anywhere else really. Yeah.
April, I just want to say thank you so much for being on the B Nation podcast, because honestly, like to me, like I always admire artists that they allow us to obviously to bring records like this one, because it's all about music at the end of the day, you know what I mean? And it's all about bringing like stories that people that they can relate to, people that can, like feel the same emotions obviously that you had when you wrote this record. All the best in the world, and honest for you, because honestly you totally deserve it, and you have your platform here for anything that you need, honestly.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I would love to always be a part of the podcast, and thank you. Hey, I am April Rose Gabrielli, and this is my brand new single, I Woke Up Alive, on the B Nation podcast. Enjoy.
Down with the pills, up with the rage. Excuse me while I disengage. I am a daughter, I am my own father. I am no longer the patron saint of freedom, and believing that everything happens for a reason. This is senseless, I am defenseless. When you're the victim, they call you relentless, strong, resilient. You're brave, you're brilliant. I don't care what you name me today. Whatever you say, I'm stuck this way. I woke up alive on my deathbed. Said I should be happy about it. Now I carry on in a coffin. There's nothing you can do to stop it. I woke up alive on my deathbed. I woke up alive.
She asks how I am feeling. I am reeling with constant disappearing moments. I am hoping I can find someday. In with the good, out with the bad, the worst of times, the best I had. Trying to find out what to do now with this heartache, this headache, the mistakes I have made to give my bad karma its very first birthday. I woke up alive on my deathbed, said I should be happy about it. Now I carry on in a coffin. There's nothing you can do to stop it. I woke up alive on my deathbed. I woke up alive on my deathbed. I woke up alive, woke up alive. I woke up alive on my deathbed. How will I know if I ever get well? How will I know if I ever get well? How will I know if I ever get well? How will I know if I ever get well? If I ever get well? How will I know if I ever get well? How will I know if I ever get well? How will I know if I ever get well? How will I know if I ever get well? If I ever get well? Maybe I can know if I ever get well. Maybe I can learn to live without well. Maybe I can learn to get well. Maybe I can learn to live without fear. I woke up alive on my deathbed, said I should be happy about it. Now I carry on in a coffin. There's nothing you can do to stop it. I woke up alive on my deathbed. I woke up alive on my deathbed. I woke up alive.
What a lovely time that we have here on the B Nation podcast with April Rose Gabrielli, that she was on the show presenting her debut album that is called I Woke Up Alive. And now, here on the B Nation podcast, it's time to talk about the big story of the week, which is the distribution revolution. Why all the streaming platforms are getting into distribution. As more artists seek to retain control of their master recordings, distribution for indie labels and acts has become the music industry's new frontier. The business has evolved. Data and marketing are now part of the business of distribution, and the business is booming. TikTok and SoundCloud has ventured into a crowded market that their rival Spotify abandoned about less than a year ago. This is why artist managers, they think that they can succeed this time. The process of choosing a distributor can be difficult and confusing for indie artists and labels. Artist managers break down the three tiers of distribution services. How to find the best one that suits your needs is very difficult before signing a contract. If you want more information about our big story this week, the revolution of distribution, check out our website, which is thebnationnetwork.co.uk. And now, here is a recap of the 5 stream stars of the week. Taylor Gray, Idiot.
Hate me, so baby, why you still calling? You say that I'm crazy, but baby, I would rather be a maniac, psychopath, borderline a car crash, back on meds than back in your bed. If stupid is leaving, I guess I'm just an idiot. I can't
Benicio Bryan, I Can Dance to This.
give me the night, I'll prove wrong. Come on, turn off the lights, I'll turn it on. So don't you tell me that I can't dance to this. Watch me. Give me the night, I'll prove wrong. Come on, turn off the lights, I'll turn you on. I can't dance to this. Can't dance to this, can't dance, no, I can't dance to this. Watch me. Can't dance to this, can't dance, no, I can't dance to this. I can't dance to this, can't dance to this, can't dance, no, I can't dance to this. Watch me. Can't dance to this, can't dance, no, I can't dance to this. I can't dance to this.
I was right there.
Abigail Osborne, Gonna Get Over You.
Wanna think of it till you pulled me right back. Why did you have to do that? Thinking it through, did you mean to call? You set me right up for another fall like you always do. I was gonna get over you. I was gonna get over you.
The High Logs, Nowhere. Adam Turley, Movie. Now it's time to hear the second stream star of the week, and he is Benicio Bryan, and this song is called I Can Dance to This. There we go.
Put on a show. The streets are packed with dreamers on the night shift. Know where to hide it, and know where to go. The watchers stack the shadows trying to find it, and be where the light is. Then the DJ showed up, spinning something new, and everybody snowed up, cause they don't know what to do. They say, I can't dance to this. Watch me, give me the night, I'll prove it wrong. Come on, turn off the lights, I'll turn it on. So don't you tell me that I can't dance to this. Watch me, give me the night, I'll prove it wrong. Come on, turn off the lights, I'll turn you on. I can't dance to this. Can't dance to this, can't dance, no, I can't dance to this. Watch me, can't dance to this, can't dance, no, I can't dance to this. I can't dance to this, can't dance to this, can't dance, no, I can't dance to this. Watch me, can't dance to this, can't dance, no, I can't dance to this. I can't dance to this. Yeah, it's calling your name. Hopelessly we fight it for no reason. Giving in's too easy. That way, oh, they run inside here. Can't make us disappear. Then the DJ showed up, spinning something new, and everybody slowed up, cause they don't know what to do. They say, I can't dance to this. Watch me, give me the night, I'll prove it wrong. Come on, turn off the lights, I'll turn it on. So don't you tell me that I can't dance to this. Watch me, give me the night, I'll prove it wrong. Come on, turn off the lights, I'll turn you on. I can't dance to this. Can't dance to this, can't dance, no, I can't dance to this. Watch me, can't dance to this, can't dance, no, I can't dance to this. I can't dance to this, can't dance to this, can't dance, no, I can't dance to this.
Right, so you just listened here on the B Nation podcast, Benicio Bryan, and the song that is called I Can Dance to This. He is the second stream star of the week, and it's the first time that we're playing a song by Benicio Bryan here on the B Nation podcast. Coming up on the B Nation podcast, Dylan Brady is on the show. We are super excited to speak to Dylan, but for now, it's time to play the third stream star of the week, and it's the first time that we are gonna play a track by Abigail Osborne, and the song is called Gonna Get Over You. And I can announce that Abigail Osborne is gonna be next week on the B Nation podcast. Yes, I'm super excited because I love this song that I'm playing right now, and it's called Gonna Get Over You, Abigail Osborne.
Don't know how you crashed a party from 1,000 miles away. It hardly even crossed my mind these days. Out with my friends, almost forgotten what it felt like hearing my name coming out your mouth. You said you wouldn't let me down again, till you showed up uninvited. Now you're stealing all the light that I was on my way to finding, leaving all your games behind. If you only knew the ways that you control me, how I hate it. Maybe you enjoy the rush of never letting go of us. I was right there on the brink of it, I was doing just fine. Come to think of it, till you pulled me right back. Why did you have to do that? Thinking it through, did you mean to call? You set me right up for another fall, like you always do. I was gonna get over all you think about is you. I was right there on the brink of it, I was doing just fine. Come to think of it, till you pulled me right back. Why did you have to do that? Thinking it through, did you mean to call? You set me right up for another fall like you always do. I was gonna get over you. I was right there on the brink of it, I was doing just fine. Come to think of it, till you pulled me right back. Why did you have to do that? Thinking it through, did you mean to call? You set me right up for another fall like you always do. I was gonna get over you. I was gonna get over you.
I am really excited to introduce to our next guest because his previous single that it was called If You Never Broke My Heart, it was actually the record of the week on the B Nation podcast just because it's an amazing track. And also he is now presenting a new one that is called Brings You Back. So I just want to give a lovely welcome from Nashville in Tennessee to Mr. Dylan Brady. Dylan, how are you?
Oh, I'm so good. Better now that I'm actually on here, so it could not be better.
Welcome to the B Nation podcast. Honestly, it's a pleasure to have you here on the show.
Well, man, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm really, really happy.
We connected, first of all, with If You Never Broke My Heart, just because, like, as I was like mentioned to you privately, like that melody of the track, like, is so catchy, but it's so beautiful. I think it's a track that, like, I feel like the way that you sing it, to be honest with you, love songs, like, they could be or breakup songs, like the way that you want to, obviously, that you want to do it, you know? I think that they can have their beauty as well. I want to start by this song. I want to ask you, when did you write the song? And what can you tell me about it? I mean, how do you create that melody that is like, that is so catchy that it is like, you know, because honestly, it's really catchy. Tell me.
Oh, man. Well, I really appreciate that. And as I told you in private, I think you're going to take my job singing like that. But that song in particular, it's funny how it came about. I wrote it about a year and a half ago or so, with my buddy Michael Whitworth and my buddy Brett Truitt. And funny enough, my buddy Brett Truitt, who I also co-produced it with, he actually is my girlfriend's brother. Uh-huh. So we wrote it about a year and a half ago, and a few of my favorite stories about that song. One in particular is the line in the chorus where we say, now I'll never have to starve while you're picking out a place to eat. I showed the song to my girlfriend, which is his sister, after we wrote it. And she was like, is this song about me? Because she takes so long to pick out a place to eat, even though it's a quote unquote breakup song in a sense. She, funny enough, thought it was about her, even though we are still in a loving relationship because of that line in particular. But, you know, that melody in particular, the na 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 na, we had done like 6 different versions of that song.
Oh, really?
The first few were a lot countryer, almost kind of sounded like Hunter Hayes. You know, that melody didn't even exist in the first 4 or 5 versions. It was really mandolin driven and banjo driven, with a totally different melody on that intro / all like the post hooks after the chorus. And funny enough, we were going in to do the final vocal on that song. Like, everything was done. We were ready to send it to mix. It sounded totally different. And I was doing the final vocal, and I sat down in the room with Brett, who I was producing it with, and I started playing it acoustic, just me and the guitar.
Oh, wow.
And we both looked at each other, and we made the same exact face and said, why didn't we do it that way in the first place? And we scratched that version, scratched all the old versions where the way it sounded, and we ended up starting it from scratch. And that intro, I just was in the vocal booth doing the regular vocal, you know, singing the regular melody for the rest of the song. And I was like, dang, dude, I don't know what that intro is supposed to sound like. I was like, let me try something. And that melody, I just started singing it. And he was like, oh my God, do that again, do that again, do that again. And so we ended up creating that melody of the na 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 on like a whim without any plan. And I think that sometimes is the best way to create, where you're putting less pressure on it. I feel like I put a lot of pressure on my music, and we kind of both were like, you know, let's take a step back and, you know, what does this song actually need? Does it need to, because before it was like really super upbeat, super big sounding, a lot of drums. And we both were like, why are we trying to force a square peg in a round hole right now? This song just needs to be, for lack of better words, almost like a Love Yourself by Bieber type thing.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. And just let the song be a song. And I'm really happy you love that melody, because it kind of came out of nowhere, to be honest with you.
For me, I'm telling you, I fell in love with the track as a first listen.
Well, thanks, man. Simplicity's hard. What I've learned over the years of, I moved to Nashville 6 years ago, and I've learned a lot about, the music making process and how I create it myself. And what I've learned is, I had a habit for a while of just putting a lot of crap into songs, or just a lot of production, almost overproducing it, almost to fill a space that didn't necessarily need to be filled. And I think sometimes you fill more space with less elements that are more intentional. Yeah. And that's something that I've had to learn about, being more intentional with parts rather than just putting a lot in there to fill, a space that I'm trying to fill, where, if it's the right part, less parts, but if they're the right parts, are gonna fill way more space than a crap ton of wrong parts. And so that song is a testament to that. And I'm glad you picked up on that, the simplicity, because, I think that taught me a lot, where, the first 6 versions, we put way too much in them, and it didn't sound bad, but it wasn't right. And so the moment we took a step back and we were like, we just need to let the song be a song and find the right parts, rather than, for lack of better words, as we were doing, just putting too much in there. Hey. So I appreciate you acknowledging the simplicity of it.
Of course, because you know what? Because the simplicity means realness. It means that the song is real. That means that what you're singing is completely real. And real allows people to connect with the song, and at the same time to relate to the track. If that makes sense. For sure.
It makes total sense.
Which is actually what for example, you will have a lot of fans saying I really love, I can really relate to the lyrics. I can really, because that's something that happens to me, which is, the main goal of every songwriter, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think everybody has a toxic ex, and I think, everybody can relate to that, sadly. But I'm glad people relate, because that means they're past their toxic ex on to bigger and better things. Hi, my name is Dylan Brady, and this is my song, If You Never Broke My Heart, on the B Nation podcast.
You used to kiss me like your lips were doing me a favor, like checking boxes off a list of chores. You had a million ways to wrap me round your middle finger, like the one you gave me on your way out the door. I was all messed up for a minute, even blamed myself when it ended. I was blind back then when I was in it, but now I see it different. I wouldn't have a brand new car, cause I would've had to buy you a ring. And now I never have to starve while you're picking out a place to eat that ain't cheap. And I never would've found the one that I got wrapped up in my arms, if you never broke my heart. I used to wonder how I'm ever gonna fall asleep. You cover thief with freezing ice cold feet. Yeah, you were better at the bitter than you were the sweet. And it took a taste of freedom for me to see. I wouldn't have a brand new car, cause I would've had to buy you a ring. And now I never have to starve while you're picking out a place to eat that ain't cheap. And I never would've found the one that I got wrapped up in my arms, if you never broke my heart. I was all messed up for a minute, even blamed myself when it ended. I was blind back then when I was in it, but now I see it different, and I don't miss it. I wouldn't have a brand new car, cause I would've had to buy you a ring. And now I never have to starve while you're picking out a place to eat that ain't cheap. And I never would've found the one that I got wrapped up in my arms if you never broke my heart. If you never broke my heart.
Right, so you just hear one more time. If you never broke my heart with Dylan Brady, that we have the opportunity to speak to him on this episode of the B Nation podcast. Dylan, I heard that you are releasing one song like every single month. What a challenge, right?
Yeah, dude, it is. For the past 3 years, I was in a record deal that wasn't allowing me to put out music. And so getting out of that, I'm just sitting on so many songs and writing so many songs that, I just want to give the people what they're there for, if that makes any sense. And being in a situation where I felt so stuck for so long, I was like, how do I move forward? And, right now my goal is to build from the ground up. And the only way to do that is just to throw paint at the wall, for lack of better words, and throw paint at the wall and see what sticks. And I said to you before privately that, this is the most country thing I say, but if you throw more lines in the water, you're probably going to catch a fish. And,
I love that.
But it's the truth, and,
yeah,
everybody wants a Olivia Rodrigo moment or a Gail ABCDFU moment where it just blows up on one song. And we live in a world where that's very possible. But also my outlook on it is, what if you have 10, 20, or 5, 10, 15, 20 songs out before that moment? Then that moment, you're already setting yourself up for that moment to have more success, because that song has legs to stand on. It has streams to stand on. But at the same time, it very well could have been the first song, because we live in a world where that's able to happen.
Yes, exactly.
And so coming out of a situation that was really hard for me, and emotionally and mentally, and just not being allowed to put out music for so long was really detrimental to not only, myself, as I said, mentally, but also growth-wise as an artist. And so I think the only way to grow is just to give the people what they're there for, the product.
Definitely.
And so it's definitely a big undertaking,
no, of course,
for sure. But, then there's moments like this, if I wasn't putting out music, you and I wouldn't be talking here right now,
Exactly. Exactly.
And so it's all about a build right now. It's all about a constant, consistent build rather than, betting on one song.
You're creating so much content to your audience, which obviously I'm pretty sure that they will love that.
Well, thanks, man. I think I learned, whether it's music or if it's on TikTok or if it's on Instagram, at the end of the day, it's just about consistent content, because, the world right now, it's kind of sad to say, but the attention spans of people is very small right now. Because there's so much content being fed to the world. And so I think if you feed it more, there's a rapper that I've become friends with through TikTok. His name is Nick D. And Nick is doing 2 songs a month, which is crazy. But, his outlook on it is, he had a song in the viral 50. And then he was like debating if he should put out another song, and he put out the second song, and then he had 2 songs in the viral 50. And so you're setting yourself up for success with more content.
Okay, so when is the next one coming? Because we're going to talk about Brings You Back in a second.
Well, the next one is at the end of August. It's funny, I'm putting out all these breakup songs, even though I'm in a loving relationship with my girlfriend. And the next one is... The next one I'm really excited about. I actually wrote it very recently. A lot of these songs I've, written over the years, and this one, the next one I wrote only about 2 months ago. And I'm really excited about it. It's called I Get the Picture. I haven't announced it yet. I will be soon. But I'm excited about it. You know, man, I think regardless of what the songs are about, or you know, the type of song, if it's upbeat or if it's slow, I just think if you're throwing more paint at the wall, something's gonna stick. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited for you to hear it. I'm excited for everybody to hear it. So thanks.
Let's do a recap of, like, let's say, like the last songs that all the songs that you've written in the last 12 months. Let's say like that, right? So for example, like, what is the first thing that it comes to your mind when you start to write a track? Is that the title? Is that the melody? Or is that like the lyrics of the track?
Well, for me, I don't think there's any right or wrong way to do it. But for myself, I'm a very concept-based writer where the concept comes first. And so I have a note on my phone with just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of titles / concepts that I have written down. And, you know, that could be, you know, we could be sitting here talking today and you might say a word, you know, you might say, you know, the word, you know, for the next song, I get the picture or something like that, you know, because that's a saying. And I'll hear a word like that or, you know, a few words like that. And I'll think to myself, hey, how do I make that a song? Usually it's a title or the concept. And then I'm very lucky that I get to write songs for a living and with people I really believe in. And so I'll have all those titles written down and then I'll go into my my writing session with, you know, for example, and If You Never Broke My Heart with Michael and Brett. And I'll say, hey, I have this idea. How would you guys do it? Or I'll already have the way I would do it. And we sit down and write it. And, you know, it's not necessarily a melody or lyric first. It's kind of whatever kind of happens in the room. Or, you know, the next song, I get the picture. I had this title for a long time. And, you know, I was on the way to the session thinking about, okay, how would I do this song if I was going to do it today? And I had the chorus melody pop in my head and I did a little voice note and I brought it into the session and they were like, that's sick, let's write it. So for me, it's concept first because I think that's also a very, I've not necessarily struggled with the genre thing. I've kind of been in limbo with genre for the past few years where I was doing country music and it's still inherently very influenced by country music, but I'm leaning more pop now. I think the country world and the Nashville writing world is very concept based, and that's what I want to bring into the pop world as well. So for myself, it's concept first, and then whatever comes next. So
you will be surprised, but we had artists here in the past on the B Nation podcast, and this is true, that a lot of them they are based in New York or they are based in LA. They told me that they do some writing trips a lot to Nashville.
Yeah, I believe it, dude. I really believe it. You know, the thing about the writing community, and if you're in Nashville, you're in LA or whatever, is it's still, although you're in different places, it's very, still very connected and intertwined, you know, especially over the pandemic that, you know, with Zoom, you know, I was writing with a lot of people in LA consistently, just because it was on the computer and you could be in Nashville and you could be in LA and write with somebody from the other city. So it's now even more connected than it was before. And I think especially after the pandemic with people, you know, writing with more people in different cities, I think they started traveling to those cities to write more. And yeah, dude, I believe it. I believe that a lot of people come here for it. A lot of Nashville writers go to LA for it. So
it's just
it's
inspiration.
It's really collaborative. Oh, for sure.
To tell everybody that is listening right now, the amazing persona that you are, because I read that like off the stage, you use your platform to encourage little kids to obviously to empower themselves despite the difference to everyone that they have, I think it's Tourette syndrome, because after you've been diagnosed that on 13 years old. I just salute you, admire for that, because that's the way that obviously you're using a platform.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. You know, when I was diagnosed with Tourette's when I was 13, I knew immediately that I wanted to do something positive with it, because I knew there was a lot of kids in the world who, you know, not only had Tourette's, but had something that makes them different that they weren't necessarily comfortable in their own skin with. And so I started speaking in schools all around the country, not only about Tourette's, but that everybody has something that makes them different. You know, I have Tourette's, but the next guy might not, but they have something else that makes them different. You know, my girlfriend has lupus, my roommate has OCD, I have Tourette's. You know, I make a joke with the kids when I go and speak in these schools that my brother has really smelly feet. Everybody's got something that makes them different. And so I started doing that, and that's really opened a lot of doors. You know, actually, as I said, I was in Georgia this past week. I do a lot of work with Zach Brown Band. He has a camp for kids, both neurodiverse and a lot of other, you know, it's a very inclusive camp of all different types of kids, disabilities, fully abled, whatever it is. And I was there this past week doing my presentation and the talk to the kids and then playing some songs. And It's really, what I tell the kids is, there's opportunity within your differences. And if I didn't start, finding opportunities in what made me different, I wouldn't have started working with Zach Brown Band, which led me to working with Rascal Flatts, which led me to my first record deal, which then will lead me to where, who knows where that's going to lead me to now, getting out of that deal. But it all comes back to, I found an opportunity in what made me different. And it's really important to me to use, my platform that, I hope continues to grow, to make sure kids know that, everybody's got something that makes them different.
Incredible.
And, it's hard to incorporate that on the day to day with the music, if that makes any sense. Because, it's not like I'm singing about Tourette's. But I try to make that as important as I can.
What makes you different makes you unique. And for example, myself, I'm going to tell you a little bit something about myself. I got hydrocephalia, which is when I was born, which is basically, to make you understand, it's like that your head is a little bit bigger than the rest of a little bit bigger, obviously, than the rest of the people,
Got it.
And then I have to technically to live with, it's a different thing, but the feeling of being different makes you unique, being different to the rest of the people, marked all my childhood, and to be honest with you, I admire you for what you're doing, because I wish that I could, back in the day, you know what I mean? Like when I was a kid, I could have someone who's telling me, hey, it's okay, to be different. It's okay to be different. And because it makes you unique, but so thank you very much, man.
Well, dude, I appreciate you saying that, dude, it's the thing about it is growing up is hard and kids can be mean. And the sad part about it is a lot of those kids don't grow up out of being mean, and they become mean adults. And so I think if you can, for lack of better words, nip it in the butt early and realize, hey, I think bullying starts from people being insecure about themselves. Yeah. And I think if they start accepting themselves, there'd be a lot less bullying in the world about whatever else they're not accepting about other people. And so, well, thanks for sharing that, man, because this is a testament to everybody has something that makes them different. And, once again, if I hadn't been doing that, it wouldn't have got me to here and wouldn't have got me to me sitting right here talking to you. So
everything happens for a reason,
Exactly.
Let's talk about Brings You Back, which is your brand new single, your latest song. Tell me a little bit more about the track. When did you write it? And what can you tell me about the behind the scenes on making the track?
We wrote that on September 13th, 2021. And I wrote that with, once again, my buddy Michael Whitworth, who also wrote If You Never Broke My Heart with me, and he wrote You Tomorrow with me, which was the first song that came out in May after getting out of my record deal. And I had that title Brings You Back for some time. There's the saying, I hope that brings you back, to a memory, if that makes any sense. That brings me back to this, or that brings me back, and I thought to myself, once again, I'm a very concept-based writer. How do I flip that play on words to, I hope this memory brings you back to this, to this, to this, and then I hope it brings you back to me. And I was really excited about that idea and that title, and I brought it into Michael and my buddy Austin Goodlow, and they loved it. And we were listening to, have you ever heard the song Silk Chiffon by Muna? So there's a song by them called Silk Chiffon that has a very similar strummed guitar power. It sounds very early 2000s, and we were listening to that and we were like, we should write something like that, and that feels something that feels like that. I hadn't done that before, and so we wrote it, and it's a really fun song. It's a really fun song to play live as well, because that brings you back and never left. It's very easy to pick up after you hear the first chorus, or if I teach it to the crowd. And so it's fun to play live. It's, it's always fun to have a breakup song that feels fun, that is emotional, but also fun at the same time. And I love all the pictures in it, talking about the Goodwill couch and your friend Amanda's house and, IHOP breakfast for dinners. It's just a lot of, very nitty gritty details that I'm a sucker for those. And yeah, man, it's a really fun song, and it's a short song. It's 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Yeah. And
I found it very significant, the exclamation point right at the end of the title.
Yeah, what's funny is when I was distributing the song with the distribution company I'm with called Command Shift, I was thinking about it. I scream brings you back in the song. I should probably just put it all in all caps with an exclamation point to really drive that home. And I think it looks cool on Spotify. I think it looks cool with the cover photo. And, I just think, why not show a little bit more personality even in the title? So I love that you noticed that, because that was definitely an intentional decision.
I haven't seen in a while a song with the title with an exclamation point right at the end. So that makes the track amazing. So congratulations for that, man.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Dylan Brady, thank you so much for coming to the B Nation podcast. It was an absolutely pleasure to speak to you here on the show on this episode, honestly.
Well, dude, I really, really appreciate it. I love doing these things because, it doesn't, a podcast, I feel like a lot of people think it's like an interview, but it's not. It's way more, candid, and you can have a real conversation. And so I really enjoy them, and you've been nothing but kind and really, really complimentary. So I really, really appreciate it.
Let me tell you something, and I really mean these words, right? Like, we really love your music here on the show. So from now on, like, every single release that you're about to do, we're going to play it here on the show, and you will have our maximum support. So thank you.
Oh, man, that means so much to me. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful for that. Thank you. Hi, my name is Dylan Brady, and this is my latest single, Brings You Back, on the B Nation podcast.
I hope you still watch Crazy Stupid Love on that scratched up disc, and when that one part skips, hope it brings you back to me stealing that kiss. I hope that brings you back to that one party at your friend Amanda's house on the Goodwill couch. Didn't talk to anyone and just made out. I hope that eventually one of those good memories brings you back, back in my arms like you never left. Is it so wrong that I'm hoping you miss me enough that our history brings you back, to me? What are the chances that cinnamon or peppermint brings you back to the winter and makes you remember all of our IHOP breakfast for dinners? Hope that brings you back to Memphis, and that brings you back to college, and that brings you back to falling for me again. I hope something brings you back, back in my arms like you never left. Is it so wrong that I'm hoping you miss me enough that our history brings you back, Oh, I hope that eventually one of those good memories makes you wish that I was still yours. You grab your keys, walk out your door, and it brings you back, back in my arms like you never left. Is it so wrong that I'm hoping you miss me enough that our history brings you back to me?
How amazing is Dylan Brady? And honestly, I really enjoyed this chat with Dylan, and I wish him all the best because he's a genuine guy. And this song that you just hear right now, one more time here on the B Nation podcast, is called Brings You Back. Now it's time to do a recap one more time of the 5 stream stars of the week. Taylor Gray, Idiot. Benicio Bryant, I Can Dance to This.
Give me the night, I'll prove wrong. Come on, turn off the lights, I'll turn you on. So don't you tell me that I can't dance to this. Watch me. Give me the night, I'll prove wrong. Come on, turn off the lights, I'll turn you on. I can't dance to this. Can't dance to this, can't dance, no, I can't dance to this. Watch me. Can't dance to this, can't dance, no, I can't dance to this. I can't dance to this, can't dance to this, can't dance, no, I can't dance to this. Watch me. Can't dance to this, can't dance, no, I can't dance to this. I can't dance to this. I was right there.
Abigail Osborne, Gonna Get Over You.
Think of it till you pull me right back. Why did you have to do that? Thinking it through, did you mean to call? You set me right up for another fall like you always do. I was gonna get over you. I was gonna get over you.
The High Loves, Nowhere. Adam Turley, Movie. These are the 5 stream stars of the week, and now it's time to play this track that is called Nowhere by The High Loves. There we go, The High Loves and Nowhere. The High Loves, Nowhere is a track that you just discovered for the first time here on the B Nation podcast, because remember that we are playing the best new music from around the world. Time for the last track of this episode, and it's time to play a song that is called Movie by Adam Turley. There we go.
I know we just barely started, can't figure you out. Still don't know your favorite colors in your parents' house. Met you in the middle of summer, I knew no doubt our life could be a movie. I gotta tell you that I can see us starting the sequel. Just a preview, not in theaters yet, but I'm dying to see it. When I look in your eyes, keep forgetting my lines, like I'm in a movie. From the way that you move me, I get out of my mind every time. I see a new scene, like I'm in a movie. I need you to keep a secret before the word gets out. Dreams of you and me together, I can see it now. I gotta tell you that I can see us all in a sequel. Just a preview, not in theaters yet, but I'm dying to see it. When I look in your eyes, keep forgetting my lines, like I'm in a movie. From the way that you move me, I get out of my mind every favorite scenes like they're gonna expire. Our love's like a horoscope, it's written in the stars. If this is love, love, I'll sign my name. I'm looking up to see your face, and that's enough, enough, yeah. If this is love, when I look in your eyes, I keep forgetting my lines. Like I'm in a movie, from the way that you move me. I get out of my mind every time. I see a new scene, like I'm in a movie, like I'm in a movie. There's something about the way that you move me, and it feels like I'm so lost in a movie. There's something about the way that you move me. In your eyes you show me a new
I get a movie, and the way that it's moving. Adam Turley is the song that is called Movie. It's a very, very catchy song, and it's the last of the 5 stream stars of the week on the B Nation podcast. Right, so that's it. That's everything from me. Thank you so much to our guests, April Rose GABRIELLI and Dylan Brady, for being on this episode of the B Nation podcast. Join us next week on episode 6 of the B Nation podcast, where Abigail Osborne and Natalie Card are gonna be on the show. Yes, Natalie Card, that we started to play the song that is called Wasted Potential a couple of weeks ago here on the B Nation podcast. I'm super excited. And the big story next week is gonna be called Copyright Cases Part 2. Yes, so we're gonna have a Part 2 to our most successful story here on the B Nation podcast. Copyright Cases Part 2 next week on episode 6 of the B Nation podcast, once again with Natalie Card and Abigail Osborne. My name is Miguel. Thank you so much to Josh Boger for introducing the summary this week. And guys, one more thing. Laura is still part of the show. She's on the production of the show, but she's preparing something brand new that we're gonna obviously to speak about very, very, very soon. My name is Miguel. Thank you so much for listening to episode 5 of the B Nation podcast. Have a lovely weekend. Have a lovely week. Stay safe. All the best. Ciao, ciao.